from Aunt Lynn. Charles, how do you feel about the SEC's flip-flop on their position on the Hinman opinion speech? So, what they say in public, what they say in court. It's two different things. I remember Giuliani doing this. We have evidence that Trump's election was fraudulent. Biden cheated. It was the great con. Or all right, and they go to the judge, and the judge says, "Well, do you have any evidence of fraud?" No. I don't want to get disbarred. Come on now. They got a case to win. So they're moving a little bit. But the unintended or intended consequence is that they've gone from clarity to anti-clarity. It's not fair as a regulator to tell an industry one thing, but then to reverse course and say, well, we didn't really mean it. It's just not fair. If it's a personal opinion, you issue a statement after the fact, if you can't get them to retract it there, to say this was just a personal opinion and does not reflect the opinion of the agency. But you can't just let it ride, let opinions be written on it, and have the industry push forward, and then change your mind because it's convenient for a particular enforcement case that you're doing. But we've noticed this with this particular government, at all levels of this particular government, in different branches of this government, where they say one thing, they do another thing, and whatever is politically convenient, they do. It's not good leadership. It's not how prior administrations ran things on both sides of the aisle, and it's just hurtful to everybody. And it's not a partisan thing. It's just a clarity thing. When you're in an industry, you'd like to know what the rules are, but if the rules are ever changing and undiscernible, or are staged in a way where it's impossible to comply, so you're regulated out of existence, it's pretty crazy. It's almost Kafka-esque. You must have a license to do business, but you can't get a license to do the business. But then when you ask about it, you're told get a license to do the business. It makes no sense. And it's just not how you compete. And it's how you damage a $2 trillion industry. I recently had a meeting with some people in the Commerce Committee of the U.S. Senate, and I said the same thing to them. I said, look, maybe the regulatory agency, all they have is a hammer and everything's a nail. Well, give them a different tool. It's a screw. Give them a screwdriver. Give them a different tool. So pass a law. So I think there's a lot of blame on both sides. This is not just an issue with the SEC or the CFTC or some regulatory body. It's also a clarity issue as a result of no legislative activity. When the internet came out, got big in the 90s, they passed the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, the Communications Decency Act, introduced things like Section 230, and that provided some clarity on online ventures. Also, the NSF-AUP was repealed to allow commerce online. Okay, so that was what was necessary for the internet companies to start building. We're now in the same position. A $2 trillion industry deserves clarity. And that clarity comes from legislation and accommodation. It doesn't come from regulators like playing three-dimensional chess with laws that were passed in the 1930s when the vast majority of Americans didn't have even indoor plumbing or electricity. Ugh.